Google, a gift that keeps on giving. It's like that beautiful marketing line, right? So how about the stock split news from Google? Impressive. And what was more impressive is their bet on the future. This is much bigger news than we think, folks. This is a huge deal. As per Google, split decision was made to kind of make it more accessible to the investors. But I think there could be another play here. I think the split decision was made to gain entry in Dow Jones because Dow's weighting system is based on the share price rather than market cap. And in, of course, Google's pre-split price form, it was just too big to add to the gauge. Again, it's going to overwhelm all the other members of Dow Jones. Same thing is true for Amazon. So I'm crossing my fingers here for Amazon stock split as well. I think they should absolutely do it. Now, Google did a split back in 2014, but that was very different split as they created new class of shares. But with this split, they are going to create so much news and so much interest that it's almost getting too hot and exciting around this stock. So let me share a few details about Google stock and break it down in simple language what it means and how we can benefit from this in the coming days. And if you like content like this, then consider subscribing to our channel and click on the like button so we can reach out to more investors. And if you are interested in getting alerts from my buy and sell and speaking to some amazing investors, then consider joining our Patreon and Discord. Links are in the description. Okay, so without any delay, let me share my screen and go over Google stock as there is some confusion among GOOG and GOOGL. So take a look here. Google has three classes of share, A, B, and C. Class A, which is GOOGL, has the voting power. That means people can vote those who own GOOGL. And of course, they trade at a premium of up to like about 1% from GOOG, which is basically Class C shares. They have another class, which is Class B, which you and I can no longer own because it's owned by the directors, by the founders, and of course, one of the previous CEO. Not even the current CEO holds Class B shares. So this is really exciting. So the three classes of share, of course, Class A shares have consistently traded at a premium compared to the Class C counterparts. I'm sorry, this is a little blurry. Whenever I take a screenshot, it's very clean, but whenever I stream, it gets blurry. I need to figure this out. Okay, so the premium is usually between 1 and 5% for Class A share, but the two classification of publicly traded Google stock generally move in close tandem. So now the Class B shares are held by insider, directors, and founder of Google and Alphabet. Class C shares, which is just GOOG, were created following the stock split in 2014. So when the 2014 happened, all they did was they created a different class of shares so the founders and the directors can maintain the more voting power. This was really smart for Google actually to do this. But that was kind of a hiccup that happened as well, because after that time, the Google share, or I would say the name, wasn't very cool because it was like Alphabet and then Google and then GOOG, and people were getting confused. So I think this is a really good thing for them to come out and kind of create this split or announce this split, because it's going to increase a lot of awareness among Google stock. Okay, now this is a chart that basically shows how many shares are held by each one of the members right here. So as you can see, the two founders on top holds majority of the Class B shares, 19 million, and they have a voting power of about 25.7% and 25.1% and 25.2%. And then after that, Eric Schmidt, which is the ex-CEO, holds some Class B shares, and then some of the directors hold Class B shares. The current CEO does not even hold any Class B shares. He only holds Class A shares, which is right here, 16,205 shares right here. So again, there is no difference in terms of what you get as of the pricing, but of course the voting power remains, because the more shares or the Class B shares you have, that means you have the more stronger voting power as compared to the Class A shares. Now this has been the most exciting split as long as I remember in the recent times, because before this, Apple and Tesla split, which is 4-1 and 5-1 respectively on the same day in August of 2020. And then Nvidia, another tech stock, which is one of my favorites, split 4-1 in July of 2021. But Google stock is to the next level, 20-1. This is huge. So let's do this. Let's put Apple, Tesla, Nvidia right next to each other and see what we can gauge some similarity, or at least try to gauge some similarity, and then we'll talk about how to take advantage of this news. So now I'm gonna actually show you a chart. This is Apple's split history. So they split 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times so far. And one of the recent split was 8/31/2020, 4-to-1 split. And this is a chart that basically tracks from 2005 all the way to 2020, the different split that they had. So 2005, 2014, and 2020, the three split, and how the price behaved with each of these splits. You can actually go to macrotrends.net to kind of see this chart yourself. But as you can see that in 2020 or 2005, we had 2-to-1 split. And after that, as you can see, the stock kind of raged up. And then we had 7-to-1 split. All of a sudden, the stock was almost $600 before the split in 2014, and then 7-to-1 got it down to about $100. And then after that, we had the surge again, and the stock touched almost $450, and then we had a 4-to-1 split in 2020. Pay attention to this. Now, this is Apple. Okay, let me show you Tesla. Tesla split 8/31/2020, 5-to-1. And as you can see, right here is 5-to-1. And then after that, we saw the surge, and now stock is trading close to about $1,000. But see, the Tesla stock went up to almost $2,200, and then it split, came down to around $400, and then after that, it went up again. Pay attention to NVIDIA, and I'm going to actually show you the relation here. NVIDIA split 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times again, and the last time it split was 2007, and I don't even have it in the chart of 2007 over here, but I'm showing you in the last split that we had was 2021, which was July of 2021, 4-to-1, and as you can see, leading up to it, we got about to $800, and then it split, and then we came down to about $200, and then now it's trading about $230, $240, but before that, it made an all-time high of about $330 or something like this. So look what's going on here. If you pay attention to these charts, you will see one thing common. Leading up to the split, all these stocks have gained so much value leading up to the split. And this was 7-to-1, 5-to-1, 4-to-1. This was not 20-to-1. This is a big deal. Then leading up to the split of Tesla 5-to-1, when they announced somewhere around here, and then you can see the stock surged all the way on top, and then after that they split. And then same thing for NVIDIA. As soon as they announced, the stock started to gain traction, and then it split, and then after that it went up. So this is really, really cool what we are looking at here. So there's a trend. As soon as the split news comes out, people try to take advantage of that rush and that rally, and they try to buy. This is a beautiful time, in my opinion, to play options for any stock. In my opinion, again, market conditions aside, because in the last 2 years, all the split were in the bull market. Right now, we are in correction or maybe entering bear. So it's very different time right now. But 20-to-1 split should overcome this fear that we have in the market for that stock. I'm not talking about the whole sector. I'm talking about the stock. Now let's take a look at the Google chart today and see what's going on. So take a look over here. So this is the Google chart over here, and I just took a screenshot this morning, and pre-market is up almost 10%, as you can see. We have seen the stock touch almost 3,000, and I feel we are going to see 3,000 price today. When you're watching this video, it already crossed 3,000, or it may have crossed and then retraced. We will see what happens today, especially with the news that we have that came out just yesterday for this split. So in my opinion, July 15th is the date that they're going to split the stock. Leading up to July 15th, we are going to see some massive movement for Google. In my opinion, we are going to see the price go up, because this is what's going to happen. If you have 1 share of Google, all of a sudden you're going to have 20 shares of Google. So again, I'll tell you the price and how human psychology works here. So in my opinion, leading up to July 15th, we are going to see some massive price movement. We are going to see some all-time highs made by Google, and then it's retrace, and then boom, people will come in, will start buying again. A lot of options will be traded. I'll be tracking this because these are the times when you can make some money from a stock like Google, of course. Okay, so as I explained, Google's reason to create the split is simple. They want to make Google more accessible to everyday investors, and it's not just about buying the stock or the stock price. It's about creating brand awareness and also adding that cool factor with the name. Tesla's news heat went up 70% more after they announced the split. Now, it was for the split, of course, I understand, but their brand awareness went up much higher as well. That means folks were looking at Tesla more closely, following Tesla more closely on what product they're launching, what's the roadmap, etc., etc. So there is definitely a play here, and we can see from the chart that Google should reach all-time high before the split. So calls or call spreads will be a good options play here. I have June 2022, this coming June, $3,000 call that I bought a couple months ago, which I'm underwater right now. So I'm looking to get out of those as soon as I'm a little bit profitable. Then I have January 2023, which is next January, $3,500 calls. I have 2 of those, which I might keep because after the split, I will have 20 Again, for one, so I'll have $175 call for January 2023. That sounds much safer because if Google were to split today, then Google will be priced at $150. Think about it, $150. Strange but true how split changes our psychology about stocks. Going from $3,000 to $3,500 seems kind of a hike, but going from $150 to $175 looks less intimidating. I hope I provided some value, and if you liked the video, then please give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments on how you plan to play Google. If you're new, then consider subscribing and consider joining our Discord and Patreon for alerts, one-on-one conversation, and much more. Links are in the description below. A pleasure to share all of this with you. Until next time, you all have a sparkling day.